everyone so much for joining. Hey, Coach, how you doing?
How's it going, Steve? How's everything? Everything good?
Everything's great. Well,
All
first
right.
off, congratulations, big win tonight.
A big one, yeah. Yes,
Yeah,
yes. Thank you, thank you.
yeah, 2-0. Talk about this game from your point of view. Let's start with that.
It was just a great game overall for the girls. Showed just our willingness to like be resilient through adversity. That's one of the biggest things that we've talked about this year, just understanding the capabilities of the bunch as a whole. We're fortunate to have a pretty talented bunch. I think that the biggest thing for them is just weathering the storm, staying confident through adversity. Just understanding that no matter what we experience, we can get through it. And today was a great testament of that. Amity was a really tough team, physical, aggressive. They hit timely shots. We were up for a little bit early on. They battled back. They took the lead at the half. So it forced us to kind of look within ourselves, where last year, I think we would have responded a little differently. We used to come out the halves. We would come out relatively sluggish. Um, I think that we came out a little tougher this half. I think we played together. Um, and Amity did a heck of a job actually just kind of deviating our offenses. So they
Yeah,
came out with a certain scheme that forced us to adjust a few things or to make different reads. And, our girls were just amazing at making that adjustment in game. And once again, we have fortunately have the talent, where if something's not working with one player, we can always go to someone else. And we know that they're capable of, being just as, successful as the person that they're replacing. So,
yeah. And listen, I watched the game. It was really good. I want to talk to a couple of specific things about the game. First off, I thought, especially in that second quarter, there was a part there where you guys kind of dominated. You were getting all the shots, but the ball was not going in. You were just like,
yes,
what I'm talking about, right? But the girls
yes,
just
yes.
kept shooting. And we talked a few times last year. You talked about sometimes, it's a good shot. It doesn't go in, but it's still a good shot. And the fact that the
Yeah.
girls never stopped shooting that first quarter, in that second quarter, you reap the benefits of that in the end, where like in the fourth quarter, you guys got hot. But talk about that mentality and how that team has changed and what you saw from that tough the second quarter where you like lost the lead but then you got it back. How do you think that helped you towards the end?
I think the girls are just starting to understand that the game is 4 quarters, right? So it's easy to when you're missing shots to just get down on yourself and want to give up or feel not adequate, right? And last year I feel like we did have a lot of moments where we would get down on ourselves because we were missing shots. Um, this year we've had a slightly different mentality. Granted, it is a little, demoralizing when we're missing shots, but we spoke to them and said, hey, we're getting good shots. We're moving the ball. They're going to drop eventually. Right. And the other, Amity was making some tough shots. There were at least 3 to 4 possessions within the span of 2 to 3 minutes where we play great defense. We have a hand on the close. We're forcing certain people to shoot certain shots that we practice and they're making them. Right. It's like, but with the scheme, that was part of the plan, right? It's like the law of averages.
Right.
They're not going to continue to make those tough shots. We're not going to continue to miss easy shots, right? And there's a player of ours that, we don't really talk about her as much. She's not really someone that scores a lot all the time, but she's capable of scoring a lot. But Emma Acio, who, is
Oh,
an amazing scorer.
big three in that fourth quarter.
Big three in
Yeah,
the corner, right? Big
she
three in the
came in. I
corner.
remember that she came in off the bench and the first shot, bam, right in. Yep.
Beautiful, right? And she, she's one of our starters, going to start for us pretty much the whole year, barring injury or anything like that. She is an amazing scorer. She can score at all three levels, right? Sometimes her shots don't drop. And some people are affected mentally, so we let her recalibrate on the bench, right? Let her kind of soak everything in, let her energy calm down. And we went back to her knowing that that corner three was open a lot, right?
Yep.
And he can hit that pretty consistently. So we felt after that, break, we felt that resilience, that everything that we've talked about, hey, stay confident. She was missing a lot of easy shots that she knows she can make, that she can make in her sleep. Right. So
Yeah.
it's easy to get down on yourself. So when we put her back in and she hits that big shot, I think that was just tremendous for her own confidence. It was tremendous for the team to understand that Her
The
mental
bench went
toughness as
crazy.
well,
I
right?
was looking right at the bench and said, yeah, everybody was really
It's
happy for
nuts.
her in the chat.
Nuts. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And those are the things that we've been looking for since last year. Like we know what she's capable of, and she's going to continue to do things like that for us all season.
Yeah, listen, it was absolutely. And then you said something on on Instagram there that I caught, and I was going to ask you about. That was one of the questions that when you led for most of that first half, and then you said you lost the lead at half, we just won. But then after the break, Amity, I think they were up by 6 or 5 or something like that, and you quickly got it back. I think the play of Freya and also Chloe on that third quarter were key for you to get back in the game. But talk about the mental toughness that you showed this year. Because, I mean, let's be face it, the first game you really weren't challenged, right? I mean, you were
No,
home
no. I
before.
mean,
You
no
were.
disrespect to the other team,
Right,
but yeah,
right.
yeah.
You weren't. Cheshire just was not competition. But this game you were challenging. The girls responded big time. Talk about what you saw from them today.
These are just things that we've been preaching. Just preaching. Just we want them to fully believe in themselves, right? As a coach, you always want to be empowering, and these are girls that have so much power, but they haven't fully been empowered, right? They don't really know their capabilities. So just continuing to just feed life into them and feed confidence into them, we believe that that's just going to translate like as the season goes on. It's just going to grow and grow and grow. Being down, I believe we were down one at the half. I think it was
Yeah, one and a
25
half.
24,
And then they got a
25
few points.
24.
Yeah, and then they got a few
Yeah.
points right in the beginning because you missed a few shots. And that's where I was talking about. Because
Then
then
they pulled away.
it
Yeah.
looked dicey. And then, but all of a sudden, like, I think like for Freya and then, and we're going to talk about the play of Addie as well. But I mean, Freya and Chloe, I think, got a few buckets for you there. And then
Yes.
you coasted throughout.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
kind of just the culture, right? Just trying to develop that culture. I was actually talking to the bus driver today, and he brought up a Vince Lombardi quote about how losing is a habit, and then winning is a habit, or some type of
Yeah.
wording like that. And it's so true. And some people just accept losing. Where we're at a point now where I don't think we just accept losing anymore, right? It's okay. We're down 10. We're going to continue to fight. Where last year I feel like we were, the girls weren't as confident in themselves. It wasn't their capabilities. Their capabilities are there. Now they're starting to really see what they're capable of. And, it's just a
Yeah.
testament to them,
Yeah,
testament to them.
it was great. I want to talk specifically about some players. I think like your star lineup played great today. I also want to say that I think for that Maeve played a big part of the bench for you as well. She came in, she had a couple of steals there in that third quarter. I think beginning the fourth, before you went back to him, I think she played a great game. But Addie has been a catalyst so far today. I mean, I think her play on the defensive side of the ball and pushing the ball. Talk about what you've seen from your sophomore this year so far.
I spoke to Addie today. I said, Addie, that's the best game of your high school career so far,
Yeah.
right? Now she has a lot of good games, but she was just very consistent. She was efficient. From the defensive side of the ball, obviously, she's an all-state soccer player as a sophomore. So athletically, just her understanding of angles, timing, those little things that are just kind of unteachable, right? It's kind of, you just got to rep it out. You got to have to do it and understand it. She affects the game in so many ways with that. And Maeve, who's also a sophomore, is starting to get comfortable with doing that too. She's also a
Yep.
multi-sport athlete, right? So,
She's
she
got the
played
height.
football.
She's got the height. You can't.
Yeah,
She's got
she
a
has
big
the
height.
size, she has the
Big leader.
athleticism.
Yeah. Yeah.
She has the reaction time, right? So she can see things. Her head is on a swivel. She has active feet when she's in place. So those little things, right, make her effective at getting steals or closing passing lanes or cutting off quick ball handlers. So those two, being both sophomores, obviously that's something great for our program going forward. We're just happy to have all of our girls, whether even Sammy, we have Sammy who's a junior. She didn't really
Yeah.
contribute as much from a scoring perspective today, but just other things from the defensive side of the ball, rotating, communicating, on offense, moving the ball. There's just so many players that play and may not get the recognition because they may not be scoring. That
Yeah.
it's fun to see them really thrive. It's just
Oh
fun.
yeah. For sure. And by the way, thanks, Coach Shore gave us a shout out saying good job on the win
Oh,
today.
thanks,
Appreciate
coach.
that, Coach.
Thanks,
Yeah.
coach. My man.
Coach
My
Shore joined
man.
us.
My
But
man.
it is just so great to see. And like you said, you're building that program. I totally saw a difference today. Like I said, the first game you really couldn't tell much because it's so one-sided, but today you could definitely see, a lot of the things that we talked about last year, implementing them so well. And let's just talk a little bit about, I think Freya and Chloe have been playing really well these first two games. They're hitting shots, they're not afraid to shoot the ball. I mean, obviously, sometimes they even contested. I think Chloe made one right in front of the bench that
Yeah.
was so contested. She's just taking them. Same thing with Freya, just driving the ball and then taking driving that lane. What has been a difference for those two to just being, your go-to for the points this year?
It's a combo of them, but I'm gonna also put a lot of that on the team. The
Yeah.
team supports them so much. Whether Freya's missing shots, Chloe's missing shots, the team is behind them, whether it's telling them to keep shooting, telling them it's okay, whatever the case may be, right? Last year, obviously, Chloe, first team all FCAC, Freya, third team all FCAC. So, technically those are main leaders, right? But we do have other leaders on our team, whether it's Emma, Marley, who got injured at the end of the game.
Yeah, I was going to ask about what before you go. So
Yes.
I saw the play. The girl really pushed her and kind of knocked her down with. It was I think it was they tangled their arms and they went down pretty bad.
Yes.
Anything that you can share with that?
As of now, she's in good graces, right? She says she doesn't think anything's broken or anything like that. Obviously, we'll have to go get that checked out. But she's in good graces.
Excellent.
The girl. Yes. So I can give you more of an update on Monday. I believe she's gonna go get everything figured out, and we'll see. She'll take a look at the trainer and see if she needs to go to the doctor, and we'll take it from there.
We'll keep her in our prayers, make sure it's okay. But I'm sorry, go ahead. You're talking about how the team, been supporting, Freya and Chloe.
Yes. So like even Sadie Katzner, I use Sadie as a senior, also multi-sport athlete who can contribute in multiple ways too, can shoot the heck out of the ball, is a great passer. But the best thing about her is she's just a great teammate, great energy, right? She keeps people's spirits up when things are down. Chloe may have an off 3 consecutive possessions. Sadie might say a joke to her in the huddle, and Chloe smirks a little, makes a little smirk, and now she's better, right? So outside of just the basketball, I think that we're just coming together as a group. And Freya, I'll use Freya even more. Like Freya didn't really play as well as she's capable of, right? She played well, but she missed a lot of shots that we all know she can make too, right? Freya, Emma. So those are good. We tell as a staff, we talk to the girls like saying, hey, if we can win games like this, when you're missing layups, when we know you're the best one of the best finishers around, that's a good problem to have because you're not going to have a lot of games like that, Yeah. So for her to kind of bounce back, it's easy to kind of sulk if you're not making shots, but for her to bounce back and just grind down on defense, especially Freya, grinding down on defense, forcing turnovers, forcing them to speed up, and then making timely shots, to go along with Chloe. We felt like Chloe was getting fouled a lot. Fair, I feel like both ways, The other team felt like we were fouling a little bit. But for Chloe, Chloe doesn't like being fouled and not getting the call. So it gets to her a little bit.
I don't think anybody does, right?
Yeah, exactly. So she stayed within her head, she was confident and yeah, it was great. It was great.
Yeah, it was terrific. I mean, like you said, there's just so many, and it's funny you mentioned Sadie, because I remember last time, I think last year we had an interview where you were talking to her, and you even said to her, and I said, listen, you're one of the best shooters of the guy. You just got to put up the ball. Right? I remember you said that to her.
Still telling her that. We're still telling her that. Still telling her that.
And I'll use a soccer reference. I remember when Brazil won the '94 World Cup. They said that the key person on that team was a guy who was injured the whole time. It was one of the backs because just the way that mentally he had the entire team engaged at all times. So it's great you mentioned that because it's something that we don't see, right? We're just watching the game, so we don't see it. You're there, you're listening to what's going on. It's great that you brought that up. I mean, it's amazing, right? It's all these little things that happen.
It is. And let me just make one more point because I don't want to leave anyone hanging. So Riley Caney also came off of the bench. She's been harboring. She missed all of last year with a shoulder surgery, right? Someone who she's been itching to get back, right? It's like sometimes we have to tell her, relax. You gotta, let your shoulder recover a little bit, right? But she did a heck of a job, right? When Marley gets tired or Chloe gets tired, we don't really have as much other size. Riley is pretty
She did.
sizable,
Yeah.
right? And athletic and long. And, as she continues to get comfortable and get in shape, she's really going to help us out a lot. She had a great possession where she came in, got a nice defensive stop, then created a turnover, and then we were able to
Yep.
get
I
out in
remember exactly
transition
that.
and score. So there's a lot of things, every single player from top to bottom contributed, and that's how it's going to be all season, I assume, right? We
Yeah.
assume as a staff. They're all capable of it. I believe they're all starting to believe in each other and believe in themselves. And yeah, we
Yeah.
just keep growing.
Listen, that's one thing I noticed too. Is like when you went to your bench tonight, there wasn't really a drop down, right? Everybody came in. I think Kennedy played a few minutes as well. She came
Kennedy,
in, she
yes.
played well.
Kennedy
Yeah.
Doe. Yes.
She came in,
Yes.
she played well. Because I remember, usually I get to the games early, so I get to watch the JV a little bit. So last year I get to watch Maeve a little bit in JV and Kennedy, and now it's great to see the girls come up and actually contribute at the varsity level, which is so great, right? I mean, you see
Yes.
that they were just doing such a good job. And listen, it's not easy. You come in off the bench, you're not warm, so
Exactly.
we know how it is. But they've been performing really well. I ask you this because we didn't get a chance to do the podcast, but I know it's early in the season. But if you look at this, what is the main difference that you see from the team this year than the team that you had last year positively, and why? I know that you're very confident right now, and the results are showing why you think this team has really grasped what you've been trying to teach them the last couple of years.
I'll say two things. I would say we're a little closer together. I think obviously it being the second year with the staff, they're a little more comfortable with us, a little more comfortable with what we expect of them. And the funny thing is, there have been times in the season this year where the girls question, like, wait, coach, why are you coaching like that? Because I coached them a little differently last year because we had to establish the culture, right?
Right. Yeah.
Now, these girls, I've talked to the captains starting from the beginning of the season. Well, preseason is a different story. Starting from the beginning of the season, it has been absolutely perfect as far as from, obviously everything's not going right, but the way we respond to everything has been perfect. Captains, the seniors are leaders, right? Chloe as a captain has been leading. They're there to pick people up when they're down, right? We're ready to practice every day. There hasn't been one day of practice where we've looked at the players and they were going through the motions and didn't want to be there. And so that part has nothing to do with us. That has to do with them. And I try to talk to the girls, and as a staff, we try to talk to the girls and just continuously tell them, like, girls, if you keep this mentality, like, this is how a program should be, right? And I think that it's just amazing to see the growth, more of a mental growth from all of the girls from last year to this year.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest change, just
Yeah.
mental growth.
I mean, I love it because, as we're watching, you see what's going on with the boys, and you guys are just kind of like doing the same thing, right? Which is building the program, the culture. You see that the players are returning, they want to be here, they want to play, and you're showing the results. I mean, it was really, really outstanding. I want to close with this. I want to ask you, from today's game, anything that kind of surprised you that you didn't think was going to happen, that happened positively or negatively?
Surprised me. Well, we missed a lot of shots. So we missed a lot of shots that we normally can make. So, not to keep throwing people under the bus like it's bad that they missed, but Emma, who can shoot the heck out of the ball, she missed a lot of open shots that she normally makes, right? Even with her floaters, Freya got down, she was able to get downhill into her layup and missed a few layups. We felt like Chloe missed some shots. So that was probably the most surprising thing.
And you still won by 10.
Yeah, we expected the physicality from them. We do our due diligence of watching every team we play and getting an idea of what they're gonna supply us with, right? So we expected them to be physical. We expected them to play hard. We expected them to play fast and try to speed us up. So I would just say that the fact that they sped us up into missed shots, and then I would also say I like the defense they came out in, right? They came with a plan to kind of take away some of our sets. And we had to think a little bit, right? We had to, like I said, we had to find different reads, right? And, we were pretty good at making those adjustments throughout the game. But without those adjustments, it would have been tough for us. So I think the best. I like how they came out and kind of schemed us up a little bit and forced us to use our brain.
Yeah, and here's one thing I didn't watch in Amity's game, but what I did is I did look at their record and I saw they had what I would consider good. They're good wins, but
Yes.
beating Ludlow, I thought it was a good win, especially being an
Yeah.
FCAC team. So based on that, I want to talk. How do you think we're going to do this year in the FCAC, and what's your expectations for the?
We're just gonna play
I
hard
know,
every day and see where it
I know,
takes us.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I
Right?
can't do it.
But
We're gonna play
tell,
hard every day. I
yeah,
mean, I'll be transparent. We tell the girls that we're capable of anything that they put their minds to.
yeah,
So we tell them that, as far as what that is, I'm always a firm believer. I want to win, right?
right.
So I
We all
believe,
do, yeah.
yeah, it's like just day by day, day by day.
Right. Yeah, when I look,
Do I think
I
we can win it?
yeah,
Obviously, no
of
matter
course.
what, I'm going to think that, right? But at the same time, there are so many good teams in the FCAC, so many good teams, so many good coaches. It's going to be day by day, right? One day we can play, our shots aren't falling, right? It could be tough, or it could go either way. There's so many good teams, so
Yeah.
I don't want to disrespect any other team by
No,
by
totally. Yeah.
giving any proclamations or anything.
Yeah.
But our goal is to just get better day by day.
Yeah, the
Yep.
question is more like when I saw what Amity did, right? I mean, they had a really decent win against one of our rivals here, opponent, right?
Yes. Yes.
And I saw how you guys play today. Like I said, with everything that happened in the game, to still be able to dominate. I thought the defense was key tonight.
Yes.
Especially when the amount of times, like I said, to me it was stuck out in that second quarter. There was like a period of maybe 4 or 5 minutes where they didn't get a shot. They'd go down the court and you guys were just stopping them and getting the ball down. You missed the shots, but you were still stopping them, right? And you
Hmm.
kept that lead. So it was impressive to see. So
Yes.
I can't wait. So when are you guys home? What's the first home game? We'll be there.
Cool. What are we
Tonight.
on the 20? No, we're not home that
I
day.
I I think
Uh,
we're
The
looking here.
first, January
Yeah,
6th,
it's
I
gonna be
believe.
next year, right?
January
Yeah,
6th. January 6th. You put me
that's
on
it.
the spot. My brain,
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
one
that's
game
the
at a
thing, right?
time.
Because
One game at a time,
I
Steve.
know coaches do not look ahead. I know that. I've tried that so much. You ask like, what's the game in the schedule, and they always go with the word out. Especially like it's almost like I look at the old Bill Belichick interview. Right, we're on to Cincinnati. We're on to Cincinnati. Right, that's all you got. But that's
Yeah.
the mentality, right? And you kind of teach the players that, and that kind of goes. But hey, coach, congrats on a great win tonight. Really
Thank
proud of
you.
you guys. 2-0. Let's keep that going, and we'll be following you guys. And thanks so much for 2 minutes.
Thank you. Lastly, Marley, great job also. Marley did a great
Nice.
job rebounding, right? The only way she gets hurt at the end is because she's playing physical. If she's not playing physical, Nina gets that rebound, finishes the layup,
Yeah.
etc. So shout
I'll
outs to
say.
Marley too. I didn't really
I'll
give
say
her
this.
any shout outs. Heck of a
There's not.
job.
Yeah, there's nothing like being at the game. One advantage of watching a game from home, at least for me, is like the minute it happened, I can rewind it and watch exactly what happened, right? So I know that you guys are there not knowing. So like the minute it happened, I kind of figure out what the play was, and I was concerned because it looked really, that she fell on her shoulder as they got caught. But I'm so
Yes.
happy that you said that she's in good spirits and all that, and we'll keep that going. Hopefully she's good for it. I know you guys got some days off, so that'll help her too.
We have one day off.
Yeah, I took one day
One
off, and then you guys.
day. Yeah.
That's right. You got a game
Yes.
on
Yes. We play on the
what?
23rd.
23rd.
Yes.
That's right. Well, the 23rd you're playing away because the boys are
Correct.
opening at home. That's you're playing away.
Correct.
That's right. But
Correct.
you're it's gonna this the season comes at us so fast, right? I mean, the
It
next thing you
does.
know,
That's right. Yep.
it's
Rapid
fast,
fire.
fast and furious. That's like all these seasons go. Coach, thanks again for a few minutes.
Thank you for
Congratulations. All
having
right,
me.
we'll talk to you on the 23rd then.
Thank you, Steve. Good to see your
Yeah,
face again, man.
it's a pleasure to be back. We'll talk
My
to you guys
man.
soon.
All right. Thank
Take
you.
care, man. Have a good night.
Bye.